So I think most of you know who I am, but for anybody that does not, I'm Christina. I am 35 since yesterday. I have 3 daughters. I work as a point of care coordinator, so I work in the lab and with the nurses on the lab tests that they perform. And then I kind of want to share where I got the financial education that I have and that I've gotten to this point. So I had always been a Dave Ramsey fan. And then 3 years ago, I found myself in a situation where I had about $50,000 worth of debt. And so I really just leaned into his program and into his teachings to kind of get myself out of that hole and into a better position. And so a lot of the stuff that I've learned has been from Dave Ramsey and his team. I think he really is like the ultimate money guru, even though sometimes his the way he says things are not as nice. But today I wanted to talk about some simple tips, 10 simple tips for saving money each month. And so like why do you want to save money? I mean, so many people are just content and happy with the way that their lives are going. You know, they have enough to make their monthly payments and they think, you know, that this is it. They think that there is not really another way. And so if one of your goals is to pay off some of the debt that you have or to save for, you know, a certain goal, buying a house, buying a car, or just anything else that you may want to purchase, you know, you can use these tips to kind of save that money and reach your goal a little bit faster without digging yourself further into debt. Because like Dave says, the borrower is slave to the lender, and that's in the Bible, and it's the truth. You know, when you owe somebody something, you are their slave until you pay them off. You know, you are indebted to them, and you have, you know, that string keeping you guys together until you can pay that off and get free from them. And some people don't care and they don't feel the pressure, but I know when I was in debt, I just felt like that was just so much pressure. I mean, it was just like such a heavy weight to carry. And now that I don't have that and I can get my paycheck and most of it's going to be just for me, you know, I still have a mortgage to pay and bills, but it's not like I have to pay everybody and split everything up after my paycheck and then I'm ended up with nothing. So that's a really great feeling. And so the first tip that I would want to share is, you know, that you should work on trying to cut down your grocery budget. Besides your mortgage, that is probably, you know, the largest expense that you have each month, especially depending on the size family that you have. You know, that can add up to a lot each month. And so a few things that you can do to kind of get that grocery budget down is meal planning or meal prepping. I know a lot of people that said that they've been able to save a lot of money on their grocery. They kind of eat the same thing every day. And so if you don't want to do that, you know, for weeks on end, maybe just for 1 week, every day you have the same thing for breakfast and dinner or breakfast and lunch. You can maybe buy in bulk, and so that will help you save a little bit of money. You can also try to have some more meatless meals. You know, meat is usually the most expensive thing on the grocery list. And so if you try to have some meals, you know, excluding meat, you can save a lot of money that way. And it's also better for the environment. You could also get creative. I know one thing I did when I was trying to save money on my grocery budget before was getting creative. You know, kind of look in your pantry and see what you have and try to wait until you have used everything up before you go buy more groceries. And when you make that a goal, it's amazing how many things you can create that you didn't know that you could have made. Because a lot of times we just go to the grocery every week and just keep buying stuff. When we had stuff there that we could have used, and then those things end up expiring. Another thing that you can do to save money each month is to cancel some of those automatic subscriptions that you have. You can cancel some that you've forgotten about. So I know a lot of times people will sign up for like a free week, and then you're supposed to cancel after that week. But sometimes we forget, and so they keep charging you every month. And sometimes you just continue to forget, because if it's a small amount, you're not even paying attention to that coming out of your bank account every month. And time could go by, and that's going to add up too. So I would take some time, to go through your bank statements and see all the charges that are coming through, and you might find some things, especially like from Apple, $2.99, $3.99, or if you have kids and they use your phone and they've been purchasing games that you didn't even know they were purchasing, you may want to look at that. Because I know Sophia, when she was little, she had done that before. She had purchased some subscription thing, and it took a while before her dad realized that that was coming out of his account every month. So look for any subscriptions that you might have forgotten about, and then also look for some things that you really don't need anymore. Like when you really think about it, like I have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. Some of them I share with my mom, but I mean I don't, because Netflix is cutting down on that. But we don't need all of those. We can go, there's enough to watch on one thing, and if we've run out of things to watch on one of those subscriptions, maybe we should find something else to do with our time. So you might want to look into cutting out some of those extra things, extra luxuries that you don't need, especially right now that you're trying to complete some goal. Another thing that you could do, which would be number 3, would be to buy generic. So that would be the grocery store with, the food that you're purchasing. You can buy off-brand, products that are usually made in the same factory by the same people. There's a lot of free TV channels that you could watch. Also, you can get an antenna, and you can watch, the cable channels, and you don't have to pay anything for that either. So there's plenty of ways to get that entertainment without having to spend a lot of money. But yeah, you can also get generic food. You can get generic medications. You can buy secondhand clothes. That's better for the environment as well. And it's also better for your pocket. You can get a lot of clothes, maybe some that have barely been used, and pay half the amount of money for it. So definitely look into buying secondhand clothes, and you should not be ashamed for that. You're doing something good for yourself and for the planet. Another thing that you can do, especially if you have like a night shift job, would be looking into off-peak electrical hours rates. So you can call your electricity company and see if they offer this. And what they do is when it's off-peak hours, so like after 6 or 7 or towards the nighttime, they'll make that electricity cheaper. And so you can, wash your clothes at later in the afternoon, later in the evening, run the dishwasher at that time, do more things at that time, and try to not do those things during the daytime. And that will help you save money on your power bill as well. The only thing with that is that it makes your electricity during the day a little bit more expensive. So if you start doing things during the day, it's going to be better. But if you can, adjust your schedule so that you're doing the majority of the things that require power at night, it can cut your power bill, a lot. Also, making sure you turn off the lights when you're not in the room. Make sure the kids close the doors when they go outside so that the AC is not constantly running. You can adjust the temperature on your thermostat, depending on whether it's, winter or summer, so that it runs a little less frequently. Cleaning out your duct for your dryer also helps your dryer run it more efficiently, which the dryer is one of the things that uses the most amount of power in your house. You can also turn down the water heater a few degrees, and that's going to help you lower your power. You can also log into your power company website, into your account, and it'll even break it down to the dollar, to the month, what you spend the most on. So you can see what you need to adjust, changing your light bulbs, different things like that. But you can see what it is that you and your family use the most of, and see what changes you can make to help your power bill, get decreased. Number 5 would be to take advantage of your local library. And so this I got from Maria, if she's still on here. But Hoopla was the first thing that I was introduced to. And so that's like Audible, but through the library, and it's free. I also found out that the library has an app called Canopy, which is kind of like Netflix. But it's also for free and through the library, and they have thousands of movies on there as well. and you just link your library card to it and you can watch TV. So that could help you cut off, you know, Netflix, Hulu, all of them entirely, and you'll still have some kind of good. But yeah, so you could still have some kind of entertainment there. The library also has a lot of events that you can participate in. They have, you know, book clubs, and they have readings for little kids. There's so many free resources there, and that's where our tax dollars are going to. You know, it goes to the library, so why not take advantage of what they have to offer? That's what it's there for, you know. And the most important thing, the library has free books. So, you know, if you don't want to buy books off Amazon, go to the library and you can just get the books. So the library is a really good resource, and they probably have more resources depending on the library. But I would definitely go in there, you know, and talk with the librarian and see what they have to offer in your county. Number 6 would be Facebook. I think Facebook is something huge to help you save money each month, or, you know, throughout the year. You can get on Marketplace and find things that you need, you know, much cheaper, that are still in good condition. You can sell things that you have that you don't need, you know, anymore. You can sell them on there and have more space in your house, not to fill up with more things, but just more space in your house so it's not so cluttered, and you can make some extra cash. Another thing that Facebook has that's helpful is the events tab, because a lot of our expenses are also entertainment. We'll spend, you know, hundreds or thousands of dollars going to places to entertain us, when on Facebook you can find events that organizations or companies have put together to provide, you know, entertainment for you and resources for you as well. And they're free, and these people don't have huge marketing budgets, so it's really nice if you take advantage of that, because they put a lot of time and energy into putting these events together, you know, to promote themselves, their business. And some people do it just to help. Like a really good friend of mine put together a resource fair a couple of weeks ago. She had a water slide there for the kids, so kids, you know, could go and have fun. And they also had tons of information about organizations that provide aid, you know, mental health aid, or they even had an organization there that had some services they provided for, you know, the senior community, building ramps at people's houses. So, I mean, they had people there that could help anybody, young and old. And there was also, you know, stuff there for the kids to do. They had firefighters and the police there. That was something educational for the kids as well. And they had fun. And a lot of people didn't take advantage of that. And she put so much time and effort into that. And so when I see that, and I see some of the pop-ups that I've done, I just think, you know, people are spending all this money to go places, you know, making these corporations richer, when they should take advantage of people that are trying to, you know, build themselves from the ground up without these huge marketing budgets. And it gets you outside. So I think people should really look into the events page on Facebook to find things, you know, in their area. Number 7, which is kind of goes to what I said about number 6, is, you know, selling your unwanted or unused items. You're gonna make a little bit of extra money. And then a study I had found was saying that, you know, the stress of the woman in the home is directly proportional to the amount of items in her house. So the more things that you have in your house, the more stressed you're gonna be. So you can get rid of some of those things, because the majority of those things you are not using. So you'll have less stress and more money. Okay. Number 8 would be, you know, asking for discounts or using coupons. A lot of places offer discounts for seniors, you know, for military, for police force. I mean, you can always ask, and I always ask, being an Atrium employee, I'll ask, do you have anything for Atrium employees? And I know a lot of people since COVID have kind of stopped doing some of these discounts, but it doesn't hurt to ask. So just ask, and you may be able to save a little bit of money, or find coupons. There's lots of free apps that you can download that will give you coupons or discounts for gas, for food. I mean, things that you buy at any other store. So you can just really take advantage of those apps that are out there, or just talk with the merchants that you're purchasing from and ask them what kind of discounts they offer. Number 9 would be to negotiate some of those bills that you have or shop around. For instance, your cell phone. There are endless options right now, so you can look around and see who has the best deal for you at the moment for what you need. You can shop around for car insurance. I use Jerry's. And I'll comment the website because I can't remember how exactly it's spelled right now, but you go on there and they will ask you your information and they will find the cheapest insurance company for you, and they'll even help you sign up and cancel your previous car insurance, and they will review it, I think every 6 months or every year. And so I know at first when I used it, there was one company that was cheapest for me, and then when they reviewed it, it was somebody else, and so I was able to save a lot on car insurance, with that. It's Jerry, but is it jerry.com or is it, I can't remember what it is. And I don't think they have an app. It's just through their website. Number 10, so something that can help put a little bit of more money in your pocket would be to also, what kind of job, where are you working right now? Is this the best place for you? Right now they have this term for the Great Resignation, which is just, since COVID started and a lot of people became remote and they realized, that they could be working from anywhere, so many people have just taken advantage and changed their job and just completely shifted, the career that they've been leading. They have just completely changed to something totally different, and a lot of companies have increased, their starting wages. So they may be able to go into something that they were passionate about before, but they didn't pursue because it was not, as financially rewarding, and now it may be. So I would definitely look into that, or look into starting some kind of little side hustle. When I was struggling, I started my little baking business, and that was so helpful. There was a lot of extra work, but that helped, make ends meet. And I learned a lot, and that was time, that me and my girls were doing those things together. Sometimes they didn't like going to deliver the desserts, but we made a lot of memories, and so I really appreciate that time too. So you can start something, with your kids, with your family, with your spouse, to just make a little extra money and kind of help you get to your goals faster. And so there's so many other ideas and things that you can do to save a little bit of money, but these were the top 10 that I feel like I took advantage of, and I think were some of the easiest, simplest things that you can kind of start today or tomorrow, and start seeing a difference in your monthly expenses, and hopefully get you closer to your goal.